Hey guys, welcome to Behind the Scenes, if you will. For this little episode, I'm going to talk about the two different types of track I used. For this layout, I only used Code 83 so far because that is what is available in my local hobby shop, that and Code 100. And there's still a little bit of an Atlas track shortage, so at one local guy I had to get Micro Engineering track, which is something I've never gotten before. What's different about this track as compared to the Atlas Code 83 Flex is you see on the back, the little spacers are on one side of the track for Atlas exclusively, minus where there's the break for the sections of ties. And here, the spacers are on every other. And this causes the track to function a little bit differently when working with it. The Atlas track, as we all know, or most of us know, when you bend it, it pops back to where it was. In order to glue it down, you have to use pins and that kind of thing. Also, this rail is free to move. The Micro Engineering track, however, when you bend it, it stays in place. Not only that, the ends stay where they were. When working with Micro Engineering track, since it does hold its shape, what I do is I'll start at the end I want that, say, is, connected to the end of the switch, and I'll just go ahead and bend it from there. As you can see, this part of the track is still not really wanting to move yet. You can also bend it by moving these little ties. So to get a full curve, you just kind of go along tie by tie, and you can get it pretty exact to where you want it. You'll notice on this go around of bending the Micro Engineering track is these ends stayed pretty much the same, whereas these ends are staggered. Now these ends, again, don't move as easily as the Atlas track, so what you'd probably want to do is just cut them straight. Same here. Now if I had gone to the middle of the track, in which, by the way, I straighten it out by taking it on a flat surface and just pressing down, you can get it back to pretty much being perfectly straight. But if I started at the middle here and did my curve that way, coming over here, you would see, again, here's a staggered rail over here, and this side is also now staggered. So you get the stagger is different depending on where you start to bend the curve, bend the track. One other difference between the two tracks is actually the rail width or thickness. They're both the same height because they're Code 83, but as you probably can't see on this little camera, the Micro Engineering rail is far thinner. I decided that I'd use the Micro Engineering for sidings and spurs and that sort of thing, to kind of give the illusion of, well, thinner rail, because it's thinner. Now with the smaller rail also comes smaller rail joiners in this case. On the bottom we have the Micro Engineering Code 83 rail joiners, and on the top we have the Atlas. As you can see, the Micro Engineering is much shorter, much narrower, and much thinner. So here I have an example of Micro Engineering track held together and soldered with a Micro Engineering rail joiner. And as you can see, all you can really see is my solder job, only because it's, well, shinier. Coming along here to the profile, it's, again, far less noticeable, as compared to the Atlas track, which is over here. Also, not too bad, but you can definitely, it's easier to tell that there's a rail joiner because it's thicker and wider. For this layout, I have Pico Code 83 switches, and it was really great getting the microengineering track because it's actually the same or extremely close to the rail width as compared to the Atlas, which is, again, larger. You can see the little gray spot on the Atlas. That's where the thickness is showing that it's wider than the Pico rail. Now on the microengineering to Pico connection, you can see that it's very flawless and smooth as I attempt to hold it in place. Now even the back of both these pieces of flex track are different. The Atlas has in the back molded, you can drill out to put nails down for the center of the track. The microengineering track in the back also has places where you can drill out to put wire feeders. And the really number one thing for me, at least, oddly enough, the reason I like the microengineering track is it is made in the United States of America. Nothing wrong with the stuff made in China. I'm just one of those who like to support American jobs. So that is that, the main differences between the microengineering and Atlas track. Let me know if you have any questions or comments.